Question 1. Write 3 over 10 as a percentage. Well, percent means out of 100. If your fraction is not out of 100, our first step is look at the denominator. What do I need to do to 10 to get out of 100? Well, I can do 10 multiplied by 10, that gets 100. Whatever you do at the bottom, you do the same to the top. So 3 times 10 gives us 30. Now that's out of 100, we just simply read off our number at the top. Hence 3 over 10 is 30%. Question 2. Write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. Well, the smallest number is our largest negative. In this case, our largest negative is negative 10. The next largest negative is negative 7. The next largest negative is negative 2. Then followed by 0. Then followed by 1. Then followed by 8. Question 3. Write 9 over 100 as decimal. When dividing by 100, we just move the decimal in 2 places. If there's no decimal to start with, it's at the end. So move the decimal in 2 places. It's going to get 0.09. Question 4. Write 327, correct to nearest 10. Reading from the right, our first column is our ones column, our second column is our tens column. As we're round to nearest 10, we find our tens column, and we always draw a line to the right, which is called a decider. So looking at our ones column, if that's 5 or more, we round the previous digit up by 1. So as our ones column was 5 or more, our decider, therefore we round the previous digit up by 1. So 32 will now become 33, and we must put a placeholder back. So 327, correct to nearest 10, is 330. Question 5. Write down the value of 7 squared. Well, squared means multiplied by itself, and 7 times 7 gives us 49. Question 6. As it has one pair of parallel sides, therefore it's a trapezium. The cross section of my 3D shape is a circle, therefore I know it's a cylinder. Question 7. £42 is shared equally between 3 friends. Work out how much each friend gets. Therefore I'm going to divide 42 by 3. The number we're dividing by always goes outside the bus stop. How many 3s go into 4? It goes in 1 whole time, as 3 times 1 is 3. As I have 4, the remainder is 1. How many 3s now go into 12? Well, 3 goes into 12 4 times, as 3 times 4 is 12. Hence each friend gets £14. Question 8. Write down one thing that is wrong with the bar chart. When checking a bar chart, we first of all should check the frequency, our scale. Is it consistent? Here it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's going up 2s, that's fine. We're looking at the bars. In a bar chart, each bar should have the same width. And here we can see each bar has a width of 1 square. So again, that's correct. Now looking at each of the bars, well, the first bar for blue should be 10. Is that correct, which is? The second bar for brown should go up to 15. Well, here it doesn't. It goes up to 16. Bar for brown should have been drawn at 15 and not 16. Question 9. Danny buys 1 loaf of bread for £1.20. So I'll write that down. He buys 1 bottle of milk for 70 pence. So 70 pence is 0.70. He buys 2 packets of cheese for £2.30 each. As he buys 2 of them, so I'm going to write £2.30 out twice, because it's £2.30 each. Adding up each of my columns, always starting from the right. My first column on the right gives us just 0. My next column, 2 add 7 gives us 9. 9 add 3 is 12. And 12 add 3 gives us 15. So I put the 5 down and carry the 1. I always keep the decimal point fixed. Adding up my next column, I know 1 add 2 is 3. 3 add 2 is 5. And the 1 I carried gives us 6. So his total bill for Danny came to £6.50. As Danny paid for a £10 note, and his bill came to £6.50, I know £10 is 10.00. I'm going to subtract his total bill, which in this case is £6.50, and £10 take away £6.50 will mean he's got change of £3.50. As he says I should get £3.30 change, is Danny correct? No, as he should get £3.50 change. Question 10. Rachel records the temperature in her garden at noon each day. On Monday, the temperature was 5 degrees Celsius. On Tuesday, the temperature was 10 degrees less than on Monday. If it was 10 degrees less than Monday, if Monday was 5, therefore 5 subtract 10 will bring us down to negative 5. On Wednesday, the temperature was 3 degrees greater than the temperature on Tuesday. 3 degrees greater, well on Tuesday the temperature was negative 5, and 3 degrees greater means we're going to add on 3, and minus 5 add 3 will give us negative 2. Find the difference between the temperature on Monday and the temperature on Wednesday. If we're finding the difference, we're going to be subtracting the 2 temperatures. Well, the temperature on Monday was 5, therefore we're going to subtract the temperature on Wednesday. Well, the temperature on Wednesday was negative 2. If we're subtracting a negative number, we know a negative and negative actually makes a plus. So therefore 5 add 2 gives us 7. Question 11. When dealing with a pictogram, we should always look at the key. Here we see 4 baby squares represents 8 video games. For part A, we want how many video games were sold on Monday. Well, we know 4 baby squares represent 8. So in total that's 8. Plus another 4 squares, that's another 8. Well, 8 and 8 gives us 16. We're now told more video games were sold on Tuesday than on Wednesday. And we're asked how many more. Well, Tuesday, we know that 4 baby squares represent 8. So that's 8. Another 4 baby squares represent 8. If 4 baby squares represent 8, therefore 8 divided by 4, each baby square would represent 2. So here, for Tuesday, each of these represent 2. So I've got 2, 2, and 2. Adding that together, well, 8 add 8 is 16. Add 2 gives us 18. Add 2 is 20. Add 2 gives us 22. On Wednesday, we know 4 baby squares represent 8. And we know 1 baby square represents 2. So 8 add 2 gives us 10. Work out how many more video games were sold on Tuesday than Wednesday. I'm going to subtract the 2 numbers. Well, 22, subtract the 10. And that gives us 12. So 12 more video games were sold on Tuesday than on Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, a total of 32 video games were sold in the shop. A quarter of the 32 video games were sold in the shop on Thursday. Complete the pictogram for Thursday and Friday. So in total, we know Thursday and Friday, the total number of video games sold was 32. We know a quarter of these were sold on Thursday. So therefore, a quarter of 32, of in mathematics means to multiply. So a quarter of 32. When calculating a fraction amount, we always divide by the bottom and times by the top. So 32 divided by 4 gives you 8, and 8 times 1 gives you 8. So therefore, 8 video games were sold on the Thursday. Therefore, the rest must be sold on the Friday. In total, it came to 32. So I can now just do the total, in this case 32, subtract the 8 which was sold on Thursday, and 32 subtract the 8, that will give us 24. So therefore, 24 was sold on the Friday. As I'm completing the pictogram, and I know Thursday has to represent 8, looking at my key, I know 4 baby squares represent 8, so here I'm going to have 4 baby squares. For Friday, I want 24. Well, 24 divided by 8 is 3, so I need 3 lots of my key. So therefore, I'm going to have 3 lots of the 4 squares. Question 12. There are 2 drama groups in a school. In one group, there are 36 boys and 48 girls. In the other group, 3/7 of the students are boys, and the rest of the students are girls. Anne says that the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls is the same for both groups. Is Anne correct? Well, in one group, there was 36 boys and 48 girls. So looking at the ratio of boys to girls, therefore would be 36 to 48. Simplifying our ratio, I can see that both 36 and 48 are divisible by 12. So I can divide both sides by 12. On the left-hand side, 36 divided by 12 gives us 3. And the right-hand side, 48 divided by 12 gives us 4. So the ratio of boys to girls in one group is 3 to 4. In the other group, we're told 3/7 of the students are boys, and the rest of the students are girls. So therefore, the ratio of boys to girls in the other group, if 3/7 are boys, if I want to work out the number of girls, I can do the bottom number take away the top number. Well, 7 take away 3 gives us 4, and it's always have the same denominator. So therefore, 4/7 are girls. As they have the same denominator, I can just read off the top numbers, that's my ratio. Therefore, it's the ratio of 3 to 4. We can now see that the ratio of boys to girls in both groups is 3 to 4. Therefore, Anne is correct. Question 13. A number sequence starts 1, 2, 4. Emma says the next term is 7. Explain why Emma may be correct. Well, looking at our sequence, how to get from 1 to 2, we could add on 1. To get from 2 to 4, we could add on 2. So if the next term is adding on 3, we know 4 add 3 gives us 7. Here are the first 4 terms of the sequence of triangle numbers. 1, 3, 6, 10. Find the 8th term of this sequence. Well, this is my first term, this is my second term, third term, fourth term. If I want to get to the 8th term, I've got to get 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Looking at the pattern, how do I get from 1 to 3? I'm adding on 2. From 3 to 6, I'm adding on 3. From 6 to 10, I'm adding on 4. So next I'm going to add on 5. The next I'm going to add on 6. Next I'm going to add on 7. The next I'm going to add on 8. Well, I know 10 add 5 gives us 15. 15 add 6 gives us 21. 21 add 7 gives us 28. And 28 add 8 gives us 36. 14. 3 kilograms of carrots cost £1.80. Therefore, 1 kilograms of carrots. Therefore, it's going to be £1.80 divided by 3. And £1.80 divided by 3 will give us 60 pence. I now know 2 kilograms of carrots and 5 kilograms of potatoes has a total cost of £3.45. Well, 2 kilograms of carrots, as I know 1 kilogram of carrots costs 60 pence. Therefore, 2 kilograms of carrots is going to be 2 times 60 pence. And 2 times 60 pence will give us £1.20. To work out the price of the 5 kilograms of potatoes, I can add the total, which in this case was £3.45. Subtract the price of my 2 kilograms of carrots, which I worked out to be £1.20. Always starting on the right. 5 take away 0 gives us 5. 4 take away 2 gives us 2. Always keep the decimal point fixed. And 3 take away 1 gives you 2. As the £2.25 represent 5 kilograms of potatoes, and I want to work out the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes, therefore I'm going to divide my £2.25 by 5. The number I'm dividing by always goes outside the bus stop. 5 does not divide into 2, so we put a 0 down. We always keep decimal point fixed, and we carry the 2. 5 goes into 22 4 times, as 5 times 4 is 20. As we have 22, the remainder is 2. Carry the 2. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. So the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes is 0.45 or 45 pence. As I want to work out the total cost of 4 kilograms of carrots and 2 kilograms of potatoes, I know 1 kilogram of carrots costs me 60 pence. So therefore 4 kilograms of carrots will therefore be 4 times 60 pence, which will give us £2.40. As I also want to work out 2 kilograms of potatoes, I know 1 kilogram of potatoes costs me 45 pence. Therefore 2 kilograms of potatoes will be 2 times 45 pence, which will give us 90 pence. As I want to work out my total cost, I'm going to add up my 2 numbers here. So I'm going to add my £2.40, which is my 4 kilograms of potatoes, plus my 90 pence, which represent my 2 kilograms of potatoes. Always starting on the right. 0 add 0 gives us 0. 4 add 9 gives us 13. So 3 down, carry the 1. Always keep the decimal point fixed. 2 add 1 gives us 3. So therefore the total cost is £3.30. When expanding a single bracket, we multiply the term directly outside by each term directly inside. 2 times a gives us 2a, and 2 times positive d gives us plus 2d. Part B, factorise 6y squared minus 5y. Every time we see 2 terms, we always try single brackets. We want to take out the highest common factor from both terms. In this case, the highest common factor in 6y squared and negative 5y is single y. We now open our single bracket. What do I times y to get back to 6y squared? I'm missing 6y. The sign of the single bracket is always the same, so minus. What do I times y to get back to negative 5y? I'm missing negative 5. Solve means to work out the numerical value for letter. In this case, I'm working out the value of x. My first step is to eliminate any of the term on the same size letter I want by doing the opposite. Hence, I'm going to negative 7 to the right by doing the opposite. The opposite minus 7, therefore, is to add 7 to both sides. On the left-hand side, I'm left with simply 4x. As I know negative 7 add 7 will cancel. Now on the right-hand side, I know that 37 add 7 gives us 44. 4x in algebra means 4 multiplied by x. As I want to get the value of x, the opposite of times by 4 is I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by 4. 4 over 4 will cancel to leave us with x. And on the right hand side, 44 divided by 4 gives us 11.